going to stand here and get in the way because I don't like sitting down, because I like to fidget. Just move these things over here and over here. Anybody willing to catch a chair? No, okay. As you can tell, I'm very professional. Hello, my name is Silver. Really? Yes, it is. There will be no other names. All right, my name is Silver Shock, whatever. Finally. Great to see you all here. I really wasn't expecting this. I'm rather intimidated. I like that. I'm impressed that I managed to be intimidated by My Little Pony fans. There you go. Apparently you can be macho. I don't know. Okay, well, good turnout. Excellent. I like this. As I said, I'm Silver. You probably saw me dying on stage early this morning, covering for another nervous person. This thing that is supposed to be a presentation, honest. What we're doing in this panel is we're taking a look back at the previous animated incarnations of My Little Pony, because there have been a few. And whenever you mention the previous generations to people, especially, was it number 3? Number 3? Yes, number 3. Yeah. When you mention that to people, there's a certain reaction that you get. Actually, let's see if we can do it. Generation 3. Gen 3.5. Oh. 3.5. And that's why I'm hosting this panel, because I'm a cartoon addict. I am a gigantic man-child. The silver in my hair gives away that I'm approaching 30. But I am a huge man-child. I am massively into cartoons. I have a collection that is kind of scary and doesn't get me many girlfriends. No, yeah, you have the same problem. I have this issue where I can't stop watching cartoons and animation. I love animation. I love what you can do with animation, that for no additional budget you can think of anything you like and make it a thing. I grew up in the 80s watching a show called Jason the Wheeled Warriors, where a prince in a galleon in space with a wizard uses convertible cars that have circular saws on to fight giant plants. And then... And that's why I love cartoons. So me being into My Little Pony was kind of inevitable, really. I was aware of the previous generations before Generation 4 came along. I'd seen some of them when I was a child, because I'm that old. And I did appreciate some of them. And some of them I did not. Generation 3. Exactly. So, what we're going to do here is I'm going to try and convince you that the previous generations aren't as bad as you think they are. So, forgive me if this is an uphill struggle. Also, forgive me for the quality of these visuals. Pro tip, never host a panel like this at a convention that you're staffing, because this doesn't get done. I've been, so far, I've been HR, logistics, door checking, ops, yeah, and in between all that, so I apologise if there is like a blank page or something goes wrong, laugh. Incidentally, if you're wondering who the giant rat is, that's me. I happen to be one of those furry people as well, like those evil cosplayers in the back. I see you. I see you. I see you. Always gate crashing. So I happen to be one of those filthy furries. Yes. So I have. That's me. In case you're wondering who the giant rat in the combat suit is, that's who I am on weekends, and my name is Mandy. So we'll get moving here with our first thing. Prizes. This is why everybody really turned up to my panel. I know the truth. It's because I told people on Twitter there's freebies. So there are prizes. Because because you are embarking on this odyssey of self-torture with me, I have secured, thanks to some wonderful people at Metropolis Comics in Burnaby, which you really could read if this wasn't a crap screen. Metropolis Comics in Burnaby, who are wonderful people, very sexy. You should totally go and visit them. They have very, very kindly provided us with some vendor incentive comic covers. They're mine on mine. And because I'm so nice, at the end of basically every section, to make sure that you're awake, I'm going to ask a trivia question. If you get it right, you get a cover. And if you get it wrong, here. If you get it wrong, you still get a book. So, anyway. Let's begin. Are we all sitting comfortably? Onward. All hail Bonnie Zackley! See, that's the problem. Nobody knows who Bonnie Zackley is. It's time for a history lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I know. Don't worry, there are freebies. So, back in 1981, a lady by the name of Bonnie Zackley was working for Hasbro and decided to create a line of toys. She was in the R&D department. Create a line of toys based on ponies for the simple reason that she'd always wanted a pony. Seriously. She was told by people who make me embarrassed to have a Y chromosome that you couldn't do it because little girls only wanted to be interested in kitchens and ironing and being a good little housewife, and that this happened when I was a child kind of depresses me. Fortunately, however, there was a thieving git on staff who tried to nick her idea, and then the idea came back to her for the final designs to be done. So she had the opportunity to finally work on the toy, and it was created, and you can see it here. And it was called My Pretty Pony. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's massive. You can see it next to that little girl there. She's not a midget. It's that big. And it was made of hard plastic, and it was brown. And it actually sold pretty well. It sold a couple of million units. But I always thought, I don't know, I never really liked the thing myself because I always thought it looked a bit like Eeyore. Am I the only one that sees that?
Oh God.
I suppose that's true. No, I have nothing against Eeyore, the emo.
What's up? She won Inky.
She won Inky?
Yeah.
I'm not following. Oh.
There you go.
I see. I wasn't certain what you meant then.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting they're named after the Pac-Man guys. Pac-Man comes up later. So, this was the toy. And a marketing executive's wife, because trust me from experience, they're far more likely to listen to them than you. A marketing executive's wife said she didn't like this thing because it was hard plastic and left imprints in your face when you were cuddling it. And she thought it should be smaller and cuddlier, and Bonnie agreed. And she also thought it should be multicolored, and Bonnie said, no, that is stupid. But she was persuaded to test it, and the result became My Little Pony. It was renamed, it was put on the market, and it sold gangbusters. And then, of course, it was adapted. Why was it adapted? Well, Bonnie happened to live in the 80s. For those of you alive in the 80s, sorry kids. For those of you alive in the 80s, you might have noticed something about the cartoons. They were all trying to sell you something. It's almost like Hasbro had a toy line. What kind of person would spend all the money on toys based on a cartoon? Ridiculous. Incidentally, I don't know how well you can read that. It says, let's do a lot of and vote for Ronald Reagan. The reference to Ronald Reagan has a point, because the only reason that anybody was even able to do this is because there were regulations on how much advertising you can give to children, and the FCC counted all these cartoons as essentially 30-minute adverts and told them to go away. Ronald Reagan thought that was against the free market and ditched all the regulations in the early 80s, so this happened. He-Man, She-Ra, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, before Michael Bay ruined it, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, everybody loves Thundercats, Pac-Man, that happened, and of course all the crap that Nintendo put out. I particularly like this image that I got in the centre here. I love, for some reason, that describes Nintendo's cartoons to me in a nutshell. It's all your fault, Luigi. The cartoon sucks. I just want to go home to Mama. I've been 20 years in a mushroom kingdom. Do you want to let me go home? I keep fighting all these drug-fueled things all day long. Sorry, that was odd. This decade was so mental on turning toys into cartoons, the Rubik's Cube got one. You think I'm kidding? You know what's worse? It's terrifying. Do you want to see it? Oh my God! What the hell is that? That's the main character. Do you know what's worse? I bootlegged it. I don't know what's wrong with me sometimes. I bootleg the damn thing. If you think it's bad, you're right. Basically, the entire show, as a quick aside, the entire show revolved around him. When he's arranged correctly, he grows his little demon goblin head and legs, and he can do magic. And then the entire show revolved around various contrived ways to make him not be arranged. And then the kids had to try and reassemble the Rubik's Cube under pressure while the big bad came towards them. For some reason, it only lasted 12 episodes. I couldn't think why. I talk a lot. 1 second. Oh, fantastic. Is there any way that we could make this whiskey?
You have to talk to Alan, I think.
But Avian's such a spoil sport. Fine, okay. So anyway, after that quick aside, this happened. Generation 1, My Little Pony friends. All hail Lord Smooze. My Little Pony Friends was the inevitable adaptation to sell you lots and lots of droog-filled toys. And this is the terrible visual that I have to depict it. It started in 1984 and 85 with Rescue at Midnight Castle and Escape from Katrina, a couple of TV specials, about 25 minutes. And you know what? They're pretty good. So if you go back, you can get them, you can find them online, you know that. Did I just advocate? No, I advocated nothing. Not here at the con, we wouldn't do that. You can, what I mean is that you can buy them online. Like I did. No, I really did, honest, I'm not lying. No, they're actually really quite good. The whole thing is set in Dream Valley. They live in Dream Castle, in Dream Valley. You can see where this is going. Which is in Ponyland. And some people argue with me over which is which. And no, if you're trying to tell me that a land is smaller than a valley, I think you're wrong. So they live in this wonderful, happy, sugary land of death. Because basically what happens is every single episode, it's actually quite good, it's quite adventurous. Because every time they leave this castle, something tries to kill them. There are some really great villains in it, honestly. The land is characterized as adventurous and dangerous, and they go off and they fight people who want to turn them into the horsemen of the apocalypse. That happens. They constantly getting captured, and then they get harassed by a coven of witches who, that's kind of odd. They go off on adventures, and they have. And if you look back at when this cartoon came out in the 80s, there really wasn't anything like that for little girls. As I mentioned, kitchens and ironing and get back and make me a sandwich. 80s, not me, 80s. Oh, I'm going to get shot now. And there really wasn't anything like this for little girls, which is why it had so many knockoffs if you look at series like Wildfire, which incidentally is rather good. People ripped it off because it was a good thing. It was something that kids hadn't seen before. Well, little girls hadn't seen before, and it could appeal to them. Of course, it also sold a lot of toys. So in 84 and 85, they had these, I think they're on the next slide. Oh, no, wait, I got that out of order, but it's fine. They had the 84, 85 specials. They proved popular. From that came a movie. In the movie, they get attacked by Lord Smooze, who is, as far as I'm concerned, my favourite character in the whole thing. He's basically mud. Who covers the whole land and sings about it while he's doing it. By the way, no, it's brilliant. If the karaoke guys, I do apologise, like I said, I didn't have a chance to finish these, or the Lord Smooth song would have been here, but the karaoke guys who are doing the karaoke later on, if you get Nothing Can Stop the Smooze, I will sing it.
Like I said, I think we got a sound pack.
Oh, please, it's brilliant. Because all the other songs, the problem with the songs, especially once you get past the movie, is the voice actors get more and more irritating. And then the songs get more and more irritating. There's a part in, I think it's one of the early episodes, where Baby Cuddles has a duet with Spike. Spike's in this, by the way. Has a duet with Spike, and they both had these voices. So the solo kind of hurts. I wasn't going to do that to you because I'd blow the speakers. No, Lord, I forgot where I was now. Nothing Can Stop the Smooze. But then out of nowhere, in the middle of the movie, you just hear ba 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 ba. It's the fucking mud. Somebody beep that. I went the whole con.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They are the children!
I'm sorry, I was too busy thinking of the man-children. Jay is going to... So now it's the feminists and Jay that are going to shoot me.
Yeah.
Who else can I annoy?
You can try it.
No, that's easy. I'll just pause the governor while he's asleep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, moving on, the characterization in the first series is kind of rubbish. There are a few standout characters like Firefly, who became Generation 4's Rainbow Dash, and well, yeah, a few woos around there. Yes, she's that.
Wow.
Do you need a moment? The characterization in the main series between the ponies is kind of naff because they're there to sell toys. And there are a few standout characters like Firefly and like Fizzy, whose name I temporarily forgot for a second there. Fizzy is a unicorn who bamps around the place solving things with bubbles, no kidding. She's actually kind of awesome. So there are a few people in there. But as the series goes along, it kind of meanders downwards. They never really bother. There's a real problem with not telling your people's names. It kind of meanders downwards. What does make the series awesome, and the reason that you should totally watch it, is these guys, the villains. The villains are the best thing about G1. Up here you have Katrina, who runs basically a concentration camp for tribbles. Sorry? Yes, actually, that's true. Yes, no. She has them in a concentration camp making her fluid that basically keeps her immortal, is it? Or is it young? Or is it? It's one of those things. It's like the witches of these.
She was immortal and young.
Yes.
It gives her power.
Yeah, it gives her her powers, but one of her powers is staying forever immortal. It's something like... I couldn't quite remember that. Think of the children. So yeah, no, I love Katrina, and not just because she's a furry. I love Katrina because she's kind of evil for the sake of it. Like so you can see her here, you can't see her very well, she's just holding up a pony over a pit, and she's just going to throw it in and let it die because she can. I feel bored, have a throw into a pit. Katrina's kind of awesome. She, like I say, she runs a concentration camp for trouble so they can make her drugs. The guy on the right over here, that's Tirak. Tirak captures the ponies because you can't kill anybody, so every single episode has to revolve in some way around them being captured and then threatened slightly. Ooh. But Tirak's the best one. Yeah, but Tirak's the best one because he captures them and turns them into the horsemen of the apocalypse to pull his chariot of evil. I love this guy. He's properly badass. And Scorpan down here is his lackey who turns to the light side faster than Anakin Skywalker goes the other way. He's actually, Spike is his lackey and he treats him like Twilight treats him. Have you seen Friendship is Witchcraft? You know what I'm talking about. And that's our lightning rod on the roof. Spike's holding it up. So yeah, Tirak's kind of awesome because he is just the biggest evil git going. Hey, I should have plugged that in. And then down here on the left, we have the people who are the antagonists from part of the rest of the series through the movie and its sequel, The End of Flutter Valley. Again, I would show you visuals, but I suck. This is Hydia, Dregel, and Rika. I don't know who came up with those. Hydia is the mother of two witches who are useless, but she's not that good herself. And she hates them and she won't let them refer to her as mum, which is some kind of weird ongoing joke. I have a hand. She had a what, sorry? Oh, no, yeah. No, she literally has a song about how she hates her kids. That's, yeah. I really wish, honestly, I couldn't get embedded video to work on this thing. I'm cheating later on for one of them because I am going to torture you with something. And you're not getting out of here without some kind of torture. So the thing is, though, they're not really as malevolent or as threatening. Draggle's actually got some really quite funny lines. There's a brilliant part where Rika turns to her and says, "We need to outsmart these ponies." And Draggle turns back and says, "So you mean we need to go get help?" They actually have some genuinely funny lines, those guys. But that's the thing, they're more funny than threatening, and Tirac would have kicked them up and down the valley. It would have, they're the guys that summon Lord Smooth, who you can see here, instantly, all these eyes in the mud and things like that. That's Lord Smooth, he's amazing. Though he is defeated by essentially butterflies. He consumes the entire land, destroys Dream Castle, so that they have to summon a new toy advert to take its place, Paradise Estate, and he's defeated by essentially butterflies. It's a weaker ending than Star Wars 3. Yes, so anyway, we shall continue on. But Generation 1, before I go on, Generation 1, I think it's actually pretty good. It's underrated. It contains a lot of adventure. There's a lot of excitement. Some of the lines are genuinely funny. And there's stuff going on in it. It can hold your interest. There's an episode where an ostrich demolishes Paradise Estate in order to find half an amulet that's hidden underneath it, rather than just asking. Or she haunts them out of it first, then destroys it. And then they're friends with her, which baffles me. I also forgot to mention Megan. There is an author insertion character who was basically insert slide here. Megan, the blonde-haired youth from, I think she's a few, there we go, Megan, in here. There is actually an audience insertion character named Megan, who is this blonde-haired, pigtailed person who you think is going to be annoying, and she's actually great. She comes along and she's a really good author insertion character. She's an audience insertion character, rather. She's strong and she's independent. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and she tells the rest of the idiots what to do. And she works really well. I think there's some decent stuff in here for kids somewhere. The human character is relatable and likable and strong, and the adventures are great, and you can really get involved in it. It will hold somebody's attention. I like it. If you want to get hold of it, good luck. If you want to get hold of it, there is there are various releases around. Like you can get because the entire series is basically specials cut up into 10-minute episodes. You can buy like the specials as a DVD. You can buy the end of Flutter Valley. You can buy the movie. If you want as comprehensive an experience as you can get, you need to get hold of this. You won't find this in HMV, trust me, because I sure as hell didn't. This is the complete first season box set. There is a mythological second one of these that has apparently been printed once, and I mean literally like one copy probably. I've never even seen the cover. But apparently it exists. This contains the vast majority of the episodes, plus the 2 original pilots, which as far as I'm concerned are the best bits. And then you can buy the movie separately, easy. This is available on Amazon, but if you're gonna buy it from Amazon, for God's sake, buy it from the US one, because on the US one, it's about $100 to $150. On the Canadian one, it's about $500. Run that one by me again. I got it from a lady in Austin, Texas, who sent it to me in the shrink wrap for $80.
I got it for $30.
Okay, burn here. I'm very happy for you. So with that comes the end of the Generation 1 section and me trying desperately to persuade you that a bunch of static images at low resolution on the crap screen are worth your time and $500 of your money. Yeah. And because we've come to the end of a section, it's quiz time. Start up at 20. Does anybody in here know the name of the cousins of the Bushwoolies, the guys on all fours with the permanently fixed grins that terrify me in my sleep? Anybody? Hands up if you know it. Hands up if you know it. So come on, I'm in a room full of bronies, come on. All right. You've got the box set.
But my daughter watches it.
Where's your daughter?
I can't remember the name.
I think you have to scrap that one then.
Fine, no.
But I can't say.
Canada, I am disappointed. Fine, okay, no, fine. Here's a fun one. Which Transformer voices the giant spider in the movie? There's a giant spider that kind of tries to eat people. It's voiced by a Transformer. It is Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime plays a giant spider in My Little Pony. Go with it. Ascend, come forward. I have prizes. And you thought I was going to make the trivia easy. I have 3 vendor incentives. I don't know if you're into the comics, but if not, you can sell these. I have 3 vendor incentive covers here. You may take your pick. I thought you might go for Luna because she's awesome. Yes. For those of you who weren't paying attention, that was a Firefly cosplay. A G1 cosplay in BronyCAN. Well done. By the way, I was saying earlier, yes, a Rarity, right there. Is that Rarity? Oh, she's only wearing the horn in the ears, but she's turned around now. She doesn't even realise I'm talking to her, the little girl, right there, with the horns on. It doesn't matter.
That's you, Trina.
I was actually looking at you. Is that Rarity or is that vinyl? That's vinyl. See,
Sorry, mate.
I know that she is a Rarity, but I've really been looking around here today and I haven't seen a single Rarity cosplay except for a dude. And that really, as somebody who is kind of part of the Church of Rarity, yes, yeah, I will give it. Sermons are at 4:30. That really does disappoint me. Anyway, I'm wasting time. I'm good at that. Generation 2, I'll have to flick forward a few. Here we go. Generation 2, My Little Pony Tales. Generation 1.5, My Little Pony Tales. Every time I called this Generation 2, somebody would shoot me in the neck with an arrow. I heal fast. The reason, everybody refers to it as Generation 2 because it's the second animated series, but the thing is, the Generation 2 ponies came after it and nobody liked them. I think I might have a picture of them here. No, I don't. Okay, well. They were taller and they didn't look the same and people didn't like them, so they went right on and produced Generation 3. So Generation 2 never got a cartoon, so that's technically Generation 1.5. I'm pointing out that nitpick now because if I don't do it while I have the microphone, on the way out of here, somebody is going to go, you called it the wrong thing, and then I'm going to have to bury them somewhere.
You heard him. Nobody mug him.
Oh, I've already got the feminists that are going to kill me, and Jay. So, My Little Pony Tales is, despite being based on the same range of toys, completely different to G1. And I mean, you couldn't make a cartoon more different. Brain. They cut down the ensemble cast to 7 core ponies. I'm not going to tell you who they are because it's actually a question at the end. And they changed the setting completely. It isn't a Ponyland anymore, which totally wasn't inspiration for Equestria at all. They changed the setting from Ponyland to a town that goes, I think it is actually named as Ponyville at one point. They changed it to a town. None of them have magic at all. There are no Pegasi, there are no unicorns, and there sure as heck aren't any alicorns. They go to high school.
Oh, yeah.
You're starting to see where I'm going with this. So it's a slice of life program. They go to high school and they have arguments with people and they crush on boys and they do all the things that high schoolers do. They were trying to aim at an older audience, so they took away everything that makes My Little Pony kind of its thing. So I'm rather deaf. The pony? Yes, no, absolutely. No, yes. It is also the first time that any actual boys show up. There is this kind of strange thing in G1, thank you, I forgot to mention that. There aren't any boys around, which...
Spike?
Well, okay, Spike, but that's kind of incompatible if you know where I'm going. I've been on Derpy Baru, I know what you mean, but...
Remember it was like a mirror thing that cloned them or something like that to create others?
Well, yeah, it's cop-out writing, yeah. Can we just get some crayon and, yeah. But no, there weren't any boys in the first one, so this is also the first one with males for them to crush on and argue with and do a song that I'll show you shortly. The thing about My Little Ponies is I genuinely like this one, and you're going to ask me why in a minute. Because the animation is kind of bad. Just look. Does that remind? The kind of facial expressions go very. Does that remind remind you of anybody?
Nothing like
And the transfers of this thing are universally awful. So, yeah, in addition to having muted colours and being old and not having a very high budget and the animation on the faces being kind of blah, they also suffer from terrible transfers. So it's not a particularly visually appealing cartoon, and by that I mean it makes you want to gouge your eyes out. It also, excuse me a second, because it doesn't sound very good either. I'll show you what I mean. Am I hooked in already? Okay, let me just...
Let's check out the boys. Boys, boys, boys. What do we want with boys? One's a bully, one's a brute. Some I think are awfully cute. Boys, boys, boys. Most of them make such noise.
Because you're all coming with me.
Some are lovely book reports. They play so rough and tough in sport. But at a dance, they're good at sports. Boys, boys, boys.
Admit the rarity's best pony, I'll turn it off. So yeah. So the songs are kind of horrible. I have a hand.
You say think of the children? That picture looks very inappropriate. More than one example. Everyone, yeah.
That's up to your own dirty mind, surely. You know me, I'm pure as a driven snow. I would never think of such a thing. I am offended, in fact, that you could insinuate such a thing from that simple picture. It's a children's cartoon, man. What's wrong with you?
Well, this is going on YouTube.
Sure.
Oh, where was I? Oh, that's right, torturing people. So yeah, it doesn't look very good, and it doesn't sound very good, and it, yeah. It's split into 10-minute episodes, so you can't do a lot with them, and there's only 26 of them, so you can literally watch the entire season, all of it front to back, in less time than it takes you to watch Transformers. But as I've already said, the new Transformers movies this is better. No offense, Michael Bay, but you suck. But the thing is, oh, the hand's back. Hello. Sorry? Oh no, there are definitely influences from one to the other. Absolutely. I mean, there's.
Episode in season 2, which is practically the same as episode in season 3, Generation 4.
Absolutely. No, that happens all the time. Ticketmaster in Generation 4 is from this. There's an episode in this where somebody gets too many tickets and gets 2 tickets and can't share them between the friends. It's Ticketmaster. No, they rip episodes all the time. I mean, they stole all the characters from the previous generations. What do you think they were going to do? You know, oh look, a spare script. That's quite good. That saved us a day.
Well, usually interests me up that Firefly was actually supposed to be like Lauren's vision was Firefly was going to be Rainbow Dash's mother.
Well, yeah, and then they had to do a lot of things because of copyright, and yeah, we won't get into all of that now because we'll be here for about 18,000 years.
Why not? We're all free.
I'm keeping them from lunch. I know better.
Speaking of My Little Pony ripping off itself, Equestrian Girls, it's Generation 4, Episode 1, all over again, human.
If I can we don't talk about Equestrian Girls. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what we'll do. If I can if I can like curtail my ability to blah 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 for 5 minutes and actually finish this before the hour ends, I'll talk about Equestrian Girls. And that will get me shot as well, most likely. Going back to Generation 1.5, which I nearly called 2 there. There is actually surprisingly good writing in it. Seriously. No, I genuinely like this show. Some of the dialogue is really good. Some of the dialogue flows really, really well. They actually interact like friends. They're well characterized because you've gotten rid of the ensemble. There's only 7 of them, so you can actually make them, characters rather than toys. So they actually do tend to develop traits for them and likes for them and dislikes for them and the way that they interact. I mean, there is an awful lot of, you're not my friend anymore. They do that like every episode. That happens a lot, but there is some, they set things up. And you know how in cartoons, you can always spot what the plot element is because it's introduced in the first 30 seconds. Hey, what are you doing with your new roller skates? Oh, I really like my new roller skates. I use my roller skates every day. Have you not noticed before? Oh, I wonder if anything's going to happen to the roller skates. They don't do that. They start like Bonbon's diary goes missing like episode 20, and they've established it all the way through the series. You just see her like every now and then writing the diary, and just narrating to herself in the diary. And then in episode 20, it goes missing, and you don't need it explaining because you know it's there. And I know that sounds like a tiny little thing, but when you're talking about continuity in writing, that's way better than G1 was doing. And Bonbon is best pony in G1.5 because although she's kind of a jerk a lot of the time, she is the nexus for all decent writing in this show. Like I said, the episode where her diary goes missing. But the one thing that always stands out for me with her, one of the really important character traits, one of the important things that this show actually did, right? She's the glutton of the show. The intro starts and you see all the ponies waking up. She literally yawns and shoves a muffin in her mouth. I will look that up on YouTube and show you. That's what she immediately. She eats all the way through the show. Which pony's the model? It's her. They make her the model. She wants to be a model. Nobody takes the mick out of her. They all think she's pretty, and she succeeds. Name me another little girl show where that happens. Somebody that eats all the time and is actually a bit of a chunky monkey becomes a model, and everybody's like, yeah, that's a good thing. People slagged off Equestria Girls for its poor body image, correctly. And this, I know it's ponies, but hey, we got the same when G4 came out and the Celestia was too skinny. The same thing happened. There's genuinely decent characterization and writing in here, and they are trying to put forward good life lessons, and they don't have the Dear Princess Celestia hit you around the face with it thing at the end. They managed to, in the space of 10-minute episodes, write in a dilemma, a solution, the moral, and do it with decent characterization and not make a complete mess of it. But the songs are terrible. The songs are absolutely... That's not even the worst one. If I played you the worst one, I'd have to call an ambulance.
Don't you dare. Do it.
I will host an after-panel torture session for anybody that crazy. I thought I was a masochist. Anyway, Generation 1.5 is weirdly enough available. You can buy it. I have the My Little Pony. So this is volume 3. I did buy the whole thing. The thing is, this is a bit harder to get because aside from me and I'm weird, nobody really likes it. Probably because of the terrible visuals and songs. You can buy the DVDs of the entire thing in Australia. I import a lot. I see a hand.
I'm just wondering what year this one came out.
This is, sorry, I forgot to mention, this is 1992. I really should, if I'm doing a history, I should say years, shouldn't I? Yes. So this is 1992. This is actually part of the reason this was done, because MLP was nearly 10 and it was coming up on the 10th anniversary. This is part of the reason this was done. I probably should have said that. But the whole thing ran in 1992 and never came back because. You can buy the DVDs in Australia, and I highly encourage you to do so if you actually want some kind of 10-minute insanity breaks every now and then. You can also, if you're some kind of crazy deranged person who imports stuff all the time, you can get a VCD set of them in limited edition tins from Singapore. Not that I did. I kind of did. I put them on Facebook, like, oh, I have my GVs. Look at it. And I was torturing people. I took them to the meets. I was playing them on my laptop. Going, look, it's decent, honest. Nobody believed me. Oh boy. I haven't forgotten. Who wants to win a comic before I talk to you? Alrighty, so. Who can name all 7 ponies from My Little Pony Tales?
Alright, let's do this. Okay. Bon.
Yes.
You got Pinkie Pie. Let's say it's
No.
Yeah, you got
No.
Wiggly Hoop Sprinkle Shot.
No.
You got Nightmare Moon and you got Bon Toast.
For that. 2 things. 1, no. And 2, for that, you can have a prize, but not one of these. Hang on. No, you get a special prize.
We're naming Bon.
Oh no!
Hook me up, son.
Select my panel. Pick one.
This is hard. Let's see.
I've got a new picture. Pick one.
Let's go Cheerleading Flower Gun.
Show it to the class.
Basically, yeah.
Rocking the pony swag, yeah.
If you enter at my panels, I will make you suffer. It's actually, do you know what? Somebody over there deserves one because they were supposed to be if people got questions wrong. But I don't think, how many people? No, because nobody got the first question, did
Yeah,
they?
nobody got the first one, so second one.
Now it's sudden death. Who wants to win a cover and potentially win one of those instead? We have a few. Well, it's kind of in the history.
Yeah. You're all gonna suffer.
What's worse, that I know about it or that I own it? What's worse, that I know about it, own it, or that I own toys of it? I am never getting a girlfriend again. Okay. I have another hand at the back. Hello. The answer? Hit it. Did you cheat? Yes. I'll accept that.
Melody.
Yes.
Bonbon.
Yes.
Starlight.
Yes. Which ones has she had?
I think she has 5, so 2 more.
I'm trying to think. You're close. You're close.
Passion. Yeah.
You already said badges? Come on, I believe in you.
I didn't put those in my.
Wow, I can hit that note. I think she does deserve it for getting 5 out of 7 on that show. Oh, decisions. For reference, Rainbow Dash. For reference, Rainbow Dash just got rejected. It's Finn in here. No, I've been torturing Finn. Finn's a recent convert. You met Finn this morning on the stage. He's insane on Rainbow Dash, so while he's been at my house, I've been playing like G3.5 Rainbow Dash on the screen constantly. Rainbow Dash always dresses in style. Just to be I'm that kind of friend. I'm the friend you don't really like.
Don't play that.
For reference, by the way, it was Starlight, Sweetheart, Melody, Bright Eyes, Patch, and Clover. But you did well enough to win a comic, so away.
Yeah.
Right, G3 time. You know what comes next.
That actually sounds like a really good name for a show.
This whole album's called Being a Dead Pony.
I don't know if anybody has realised that I have this on the table, but I do.
Do you want to sit?
Who gets to hit it?
I don't know.
I think we should let these. No. I think no. Well, it might be a bit big for them. I don't know, but I think these kids down here have listened to me prattle for I don't even know how long it's been. I'm crap at timekeeping, and they've been really, really good, and they haven't complained about me being as boring as hell. So I'm going to let them hit the pinata. Probably want to move the microphones. away. Now we need a weapon for them. Can they actually use that?
It's a wooden.
I was anticipating on decapitating the little sod myself, but because it's been a stressful day.
Stressful month.
Guys, you have to, if you would like to, you don't have to, but if you would like to, you get to smash this into little pieces.
Please do.
No, let's not pressure little kiddies. No, it's okay. Guys, let's not pressure little kids. That's what my counsellor said. Hey, he looks like he wants to smash it. This kid just wandered up the side. Do you want to hit a thing? Yeah, you want to hit a thing? Yes! What's your name, kid? What's your name?
My name's Declan.
Hit it! Yes! Yes! More! Hit it till things fall out. I think we need a round of applause for the efforts of the young man. That is glue factory. But I think you are well done, sir. Well done. But I think it needs. I didn't bite for nothing.
Are the hotel gonna kill me now? The only one!
There's G4 pony inside. Really awesome.
You know what? There are! Anybody find a spare? Can we give it to the children, please? And we run out and sorry. Load up her carcass and fake on the
Just give it to Jay as an offering for your mistakes.
That should go in the charity order. Go. Silver.
You want me to run that over there? I can run it over the charity on fire.
Best panel ever.
Give the stash it. Stash the Pinata.
If you, honestly, if you do find any spares, please. I know I think I have very large mates, and I threw most of them at the crowd. There are a few kids who didn't manage to get one. If you see one of those kids, give them.
Oh God. Silver. we can still auction this.
Are you wearing that as a hat?
Yes.
My hat's off to you, sir.
Oh God.
I love this panel.
Best panel yet.
The only reason I volunteered for this con and did like 6 months of work and volunteer work and going around doing all this stuff, no pay out of pocket, all that kind of stuff, is so that I could just decapitate a G3 Pinkie Pie. That is a life dream.
And there you have a box why it was called Beating a Dead Pony.
That's how you host a panel called Beating a Dead Pony.
Deserve to throw up.
I'm fine. Now I have to do sensible things.
Oh God.
I know I'm not sensible at the best of times. So anyway, Sugapocalypse.
Sounds like action.
So Generation 3 happened, and now I'm going to persuade you that it was worth it.
It actually sounds pretty good.
Come on, it's not as bad as the Rubik's Cube.
Drummer's slide of 3.5 and we'll forget about it.
So in 2003, You crazy, crazy people. Do I have to do my sexy voice? It's weird how that always quiets the room, isn't it? It's like, get into my van. Am I that as well?
You are everything.
I don't know. So, that was a thing that happened. So Generation 3 happened in 2003. It's a lot more recent than you think. Hand-drawn, again, based back in Ponyland, but with all the threat taken away. They went back to aiming for the lower kids again. They decided that their slice of life didn't work, that setting things in high school. Apparently they tried high school and thought the high school slice of life stuff just doesn't work, so it's a good thing they never did it again. I mean, can you imagine if somebody like, made a film where they, 1.5, yeah, okay, there was high school in there, but they never focused on it. It was never like they had to do anything really stupid, like become the prom queen to save the world, because that would be ridiculous. I know, who could, yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. It's a good thing nobody ever made it. So anyway, they went back and they did hand-drawn stuff and they put it back in Ponyland because apparently high school doesn't work. But they wanted to go back to an even younger crowd than previously. They wanted to go back to the young crowd. So it was G1 with all its harsh bits taken off. They cut all the corners off. So there's not really much in the way of peril or adventure anymore. There is literally an episode where the entire plot revolves around an Easter egg hunt.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember falling asleep halfway through.
Same here.
What now?
They had an Easter egg hunt. It's a thing. But the thing is, the animations actually, I kind of like it on a more visual scale. If they'd have combined this with 1.5, we could have had a really good show, because if you look at the presentation, getting ahead of myself. So another slide missing. Like I said, I suck at visuals. I have a hand. Hello, hand.
That picture's wrong. They were never unicorns.
What do you mean?
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe there are unicorns in the suit. Maybe it's an animation error.
There were no Pegasi. I don't.
There were Pegasi. They lived on Butterfly Island. Oh God, I know that. You know, one of those moments when you question your life.
I see it happening.
Yeah, that's what. Why do you think I wanted the whiskey?
I saw an episode of School and breaks into Piggy's house.
Actually,
Yeah. What too?
She steals cupcakes, and then they have a freaking party.
yes. Because everything that you do bad turns into something that people like you for in Generation 3. It's a very, very strange little progression that they have. You can't actually do anything wrong. Even if you do things wrong, you're still a nice person. Everybody loves you unconditionally. Sugar apocalypse. But the thing is, the presentation style, which I really should have a picture of, is actually, I like it. I do. The art style is pretty clean. If you look at the backgrounds, some of them, especially in the later ones, look a hell of a lot like Equestria. The art style is good. It's colourful. It's bright. It's well drawn. The songs don't suck. I mean, they have as much teeth as, gummy, but they don't suck. The whole show's like that, though. It's pleasant. And that's about, honestly, I'm trying to think of things to say to this.
I don't know if you noticed, all the ponies are built from the exact same stock model with the exact same hair.
Yeah.
They do have this tendency, yes, actually. I haven't, I'll be honest, I hadn't looked too closely at that picture because, that's supposed to be Star Chase, really? As a hand.
Do you know why in G.5 Scooby has a cutie mark, but in G4 she doesn't?
Because it's for no better reason than it's a complete rewrite. And the cutie marks in everything before G4 don't really mean anything. Yeah. They're there, but they're only there because there's a patent from 1981 that says they have a patent on putting tattoos on horses' butts. No, really? That's the thing. I've read the patent. No, it's basically, in some generations with some ponies you will see cutie marks, but they aren't even referred to them as that until I think Generation 3, and they don't mean anything. Everything before that, they literally mean nothing. I seem to remember, I saw one and there was somebody with a cutie mark that was like I can't remember, what was it now? It was like 3 stars or something like that, and she was a nursery maid. So it made no sense at all. They are just there for decoration up until Generation 4. It's only in Generation 4 where it becomes a thing, where it becomes the metaphor that it quite clearly is for things I shouldn't tell the kids about. So, no, the answer is that they're there because why not? Because that's what was on the toys, because that's what you can sell. Yeah, exactly. It's what distinguishes one from the other, and it's also a really good way of spotting knockoffs. It's a really, really good way of trademarking your product, and you can go, that's not ours. Sorry?
That funny pony, it's a knockoff.
There are plenty of knockoffs. There is an entire wiki article on My Little Pony knockoffs. There's that many. There's entire guides on how to spot My Little Pony knockoffs. Anyway, continuing on. I can't think of much to say in terms of Generation 3. There are some, the episodes are kind of hit and miss in the writing. There are some that are genuinely interesting and funny. Minty is the best pony as far as I'm concerned in this. Yeah. Minty and Thistle Whistle. Very Minty Christmas is genuinely funny. It's genuinely entertaining. Minty will remind you a lot of Twilight Sparkle. She's kind of kooky and kind of socially awkward, and she tries to fix things and then breaks them, and just things snowball because she never knows when to just step back. And she's entertaining. She has some genuinely funny stuff. Minty Christmas is great. There's some other ones, the earlier ones are quite entertaining in places. I have a hand. Hello, hand. Was that a hand?
Why is it that it seems like Minty has one of the socks?
Because Minty does have a thing for socks. Minty has a rather kind of thing for socks. In A Very Minty Christmas, when she ruins Christmas by making sure that Santa won't come because Santa is canon with cartoon ponies. Very Minty Christmas, very quick plot rundown. Minty accidentally smashes the gigantic candy cane on top of the gigantic candy cane on top of the Christmas tree that summons Santa. Which personally I think a dyslexic person wrote the script and it was actually Satan, but whatever. Whatever. She smashes the candy cane, and in order to fix this whole problem, she attempts to get Santa back, but Santa's already disappeared on his travels. So her solution is to give everybody one of her socks, and she has a collection of socks, none of which match. There are times where she put a sock on the Christmas tree as a decoration. Because. Minty's kind of mental, but that's why she's fun. And then Thistle Whistle's kind of has anybody here played Dust and Elysian Tale?
Yes.
A few people. Very good game, by the way. Try it.
It is awesome.
There's a character in that called Fidget. Thistle Whistle is her. She even sounds the same. It's kind of crazy. Thistle Whistle is fun and kooky, but she's afraid of everything. She's a Pegasus that's afraid of literally everything.
It's dark and scary in her cave.
But they make it funny rather than, oh God, I can't stand you. You know what they do with Fluttershy? They do it like that. Hear them again? Sorry?
I think
Well, she is the leader to an extent. She certainly has more influence than Pinkie Pie and G4 does, because Pinkie Pie and G4, everybody just ignores her. Bye. No, she certainly has people who actually listen to her, because she's not the party one. The party one is... name I can't remember. Sorry?
Surprise. Yeah.
No surprise is just a git. No, see, surprise's speciality is jumping out at you and yelling surprise and making you have a heart attack. Why do you think there's no old ponies in Generation 3? Heart attack central. She doesn't really do parties, she just does that. So the one that eventually does kind of become the party one to an extent is not Wisteria. I can't remember her name. I'm shamed. But the one I thought that was most like Twilight in the end was actually Wisteria, because she's the one that gets made the princess and the princess promenade, and then she disseminates princess-ship to everybody because she can't because being privileged is just hard, you guys. I have a hand that I can't ignore.
Wasn't there a version of Rarity in this one?
Yes, there was.
There is a, yes, the Rarity. Well, this is the thing. This is why you should allow G3 to exist and be happy that it exists and not attempt to purge it from history, because without this, G4 doesn't happen. Rainbow Dash is in this. No, she isn't the same. Rainbow Dash is in this. Rainbow Dash in Generation 3, not 3.5. Rainbow Dash in Generation 3 is actually kind of tolerable. She's actually quite fun. She's a priss, darlings. She's like darlings in every sentence. It's really, really... They even start taking the mickey eventually, which is why it's tolerable. She'll walk into a place and go, "This is simply darlings." Many hands. You first.
First we have.
What's the part 20 Posey?
Yeah.
The name I couldn't remember.
And also, you said that what's her name was a lot like Fidgets.
Yes.
So what Fidget reminds me of is Navi.
Oh god.
No. She's not nearly as bad as Navi. No. No. Chinese water torture isn't as bad as Navi. No, I've had several strains of bubonic plague that weren't as bad as Navi. Get in the back of the pub.
Does anyone else know that G3 Rarity was voiced by Kathy Weslock, who
Yes.
voices Spike?
Yes. Yes. And G3 Wisteria and the one I was just talking about, Thistle, are both voiced by our very own Tabitha Sanjima down in the autograph room. And Andrea Libman turns up as well. What's really weird is, oh god, what's the name of the one that has Andrea Libman's voice? Andrea Libman turns up not as Pinkie Pie, but stood next to Pinkie Pie. That's weird. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling at length on this one. G3, the reason that you should allow this to exist is because without this, G4 doesn't happen, because so many characters and locations and everything are just literally pulled directly from this into G4. The one I can't defend, the one I won't even try to defend, the one that keeps me awake at night is, well, that. Oh boy. Hang on a second.
Oh no.
Don't touch it.
Can we please make sure that all children are at least 10 feet from the stage? Yeah, so that happened.
We're sitting up here. We don't have to look at it.
I'm within radiation distance. So they rebooted Generation 3. And if you thought it didn't have teeth before, it basically becomes a children's lullaby. This is very nearly pointless. I can't defend this. What I do like is that nobody noticed that's a special edition. Thank you for not noticing. Wait.
Actually, I noticed it was.
Yeah. So they redesigned them. They again stripped back the ensemble cast, although there wasn't that much of one to begin with in G3, to the core 7, which is these guys. Again, the only reason that this might be particularly relevant to G4 is Scootaloo and Cheerily, and that is Rainbow Dash in the centre.
We're going overtime here. It's like 2:10.
Faster. Okay. Well, we don't have much to talk about. We can wrap up really fast. Apparently, I'm running over, but that's fine because it's 3.5 and we all want to skip it. 3.5, really, I can't defend this. I really can't. There's no way. It's so kind of, yeah. I like the designs sometimes. Not these designs. I like the background designs. And then they made the characters and everybody cried. Actually, she's not wrong. She looks like Derby. The designs of the background are kind of nice, and again, they look a bit like equestrian places, but the character designs of these bobbleheads, I refer to this as the toddlers and tiaras generation, because whenever I'm watching this, I feel vaguely uncomfortable.
There's only 2 hairstyles.
I'm nearly 30 and I watch cartoons all the time, but this is the one that makes me think, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should be doing this and on a panel van. I can't defend this, so we're going to say hello. Hi. Hello. You just here to say hi? Are you just here to say hi? What's up? Oh, worth interrupting. Totally worth it.
Anything is one.
I will point out the one thing, children, before I let you go, because I have kept you here and tortured you for over an hour. The one thing that this generation did that was worth it. It gave us the idea to put pigtails on Cheerilee. And then the slide didn't work. There! It gave us the idea to put pigtails on Cheerilee, and certain people over here will understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that is essentially an annotated, abbreviated, ranty history of the history of the animation. Incidentally, the G3-5 stuff... Oh God, I'm touching it. The G3-5 stuff is actually really easy to get hold of, annoyingly. This is the easiest stuff to get. You can get this in HMV right now. You can walk into your supermarket and you'll find copies of Twinkle Wish Adventure, which you should leave there. And that was my slightly... But, so, in recap... Generation 1 gave us the adventure. It gave us the atmosphere. It gave us the need to go out there and explore things, and the ability to entertain young girls with something other than ironing. It gave girl characters something to do. Generation 2 gave us the slice of life stuff, which is also a part of G4, if you haven't noticed. It gave us some of the inspirations. It gave us the slice of life. It gave us that additional piece of drama and the relationships. It concentrated more on the relationships that went into G2. G3 gave us a lot of the designs. It gave us the presentation. It gave us the art style and the background. And it gave us a lot of the VAs, let's be honest. Yeah. All of these things came together to make G4. That's my justification for the whole thing. I would recommend 1 and 2, 3 less so. But I think I can justify all of these existing, because without these, we wouldn't have G4, and we wouldn't have this convention. We wouldn't have all of you people sitting here laughing at an old man talking nonsense. I wouldn't have found all the friends. This show genuinely means something to me. It really, really does. Because when I came to Canada beginning of this year, I came here with 2 suitcases and a cat. And this show, no, that's true.
A cat that can speak.
A cat with no meow. And I met so many friends through this. I went to the local meetups, and I met people like Keenan here, my friend Keenan, and the various people at the convention, and I met all kinds of people through this, and they've all been wonderful. Exactly the same as the local furry community, who I also got into, if you couldn't tell. Love you guys. Love you. Sexy voice. And it's just been fantastic. And this history, this preparation is one of the reasons I was able to get into G4, and I just wanted to share my madness with you for an hour to make me feel better in the cold nights.
Almost an hour and 15.
An hour and 15. I'm sorry, I know how to talk, have you noticed? So I'll just wrap up by saying that's my rather weak justification for G3.5. That's my justification for the whole thing. Thank you for being here. It's been a lot of fun. We decapitated a pony. We've forgotten something. I still have a comic. We need a way of deciding who gets the comic. I think we should give it to the kid that killed Pinky. All in favour? Is he still here? He's gone. Do we have his parents? Well, that plan went to hell, didn't it? Okay. Do you like comics? Do you guys like comics? Do you guys like comics? I don't want to ask them questions about G3. They won't know. They've avoided it.
Yeah.
And need I forget, we have some G3 books. If you any takers? Any takers? They're up here. I have no use for them. Take them away. Thank you all very much for coming.